Have you ever stood up from your favorite chair and felt like your legs took a second too long to follow? You catch yourself gripping the armrest a little tighter. Maybe you pause before taking that first step, just to be sure your balance is there. And deep down, there's that quiet, unsettling feeling. My legs aren't what they used to be. If that sounds familiar, I want you to lean in, because this might be one of the most important things you hear today. The truth is, your legs are often the first part of your body to show signs of aging. They carry you through every part of your day, every room you walk through, every sidewalk you stroll, every hug you give while standing upright. But as we get older, the muscles in our legs begin to weaken faster than almost any other area of the body. It's not sudden. It doesn't happen with a bang. It fades, slowly, quietly. And one day, a short walk feels longer. Getting out of bed takes more effort. You might even catch yourself avoiding stairs or skipping errands just to avoid standing for too long. Now, here's the good news. This isn't just getting old. It's not just something to accept. There are things, simple, everyday things, that you can do to turn this around. You don't need to be a fitness fanatic. You don't need to lift weights or join a gym. You just need to eat smarter and give your legs the fuel they've been asking for. That's what we're here to talk about today. Because there are 3 foods, yes, just 3, that can make a real difference. Foods that help keep your leg muscles strong, your bones stable, and your joints flexible. These aren't exotic or expensive. They're everyday ingredients that you can find at your local grocery store. And if you start including them in your meals, your legs might just surprise you. Let's begin with one of the simplest, most affordable, and most powerful foods, eggs. Now, I know what you're thinking, eggs? Really? But don't be fooled by how common they are. Eggs are one of the most complete sources of protein on the planet. Each egg contains all 9 essential amino acids your body needs to build and repair muscle. And when it comes to your legs, that's exactly what they need. You see, as we age, our bodies become less efficient at absorbing and using protein. It's called anabolic resistance, and it's one reason why we lose muscle faster after 60. That's why a slice of toast and a cup of tea for breakfast just doesn't cut it anymore. Your body needs more protein, not less, to keep up with the demands of daily life. Let me tell you about a lovely woman named Carol, who I met at a church luncheon. She's 74, bright smile, sharp mind. But she confided in me one afternoon that she'd started feeling unsteady on her feet. Her knees felt weak. She stopped going on her evening walks because she was afraid of falling. When we looked at her meals, it was all light. Toast and jam in the morning, crackers and soup for lunch, a little pasta for dinner. Barely any protein. So she made one small change. She started having 2 eggs each morning, scrambled with a handful of spinach, sometimes with a little cheese. Within a month, she felt stronger, more stable. Her walks came back. Her confidence came back. And she said to me, I had no idea something so simple could help me so much. And it's not just the protein. Eggs are packed with B12, which helps your nerves function properly, and vitamin D, which supports muscle contraction and bone strength. If you're skipping eggs because you're worried about cholesterol, let me gently ease that concern. Most recent research has shown that eggs, in moderation, are perfectly healthy for your heart. In fact, for many seniors, they're exactly what's missing. Now let's talk about the second food. This one's a little more elegant, but every bit as important, salmon. Oh, salmon. Soft, flaky, rich in color and flavor. It's more than just a fancy dinner. It's a healing food, especially for your legs. Salmon is loaded with omega-3 fatty acids. These are anti-inflammatory fats that help reduce pain and swelling in your joints and muscles. Inflammation is one of the most common causes of leg discomfort in older adults. That tight, stiff feeling in the morning, that slow ache behind your knees. That's inflammation, and salmon helps calm it. But there's more. Salmon is also high in vitamin D and a wonderful source of lean protein. That means it's helping your bones, your muscles, and your nerves all at once. I remember George. He's 77 and used to be a carpenter. Tough guy. But over the years, his knees started giving out on him. Getting up from the couch became a struggle. He didn't like taking pain medication, so he tried physical therapy. It helped a little, but not enough. His daughter, a nurse, suggested he try eating salmon twice a week. At first, he scoffed. "I don't eat that fancy stuff," he said. But she made him a batch of salmon patties, seasoned with garlic and dill, and he was hooked. A few weeks later, he told me, "I don't know what's in that fish, but my knees feel less like rusted hinges and more like real joints again." Even if you're not used to eating fish, it's worth exploring. You can try grilled salmon with lemon, baked salmon with herbs, or even canned salmon mixed into a salad. The key is consistency. A couple of servings a week can help reduce swelling, restore joint comfort, and support leg muscle health. Now, I want you to take a moment here. Think about what you've eaten this week. Did your meal support your legs or starve them? Were they colorful and rich in nutrients, or were they quick and light, but lacking substance? Your legs are trying their best. They've carried you your whole life, from the first time you ran across the playground to the long walks through grocery store aisles. They've stood for you during family holidays, church services, and even those moments you had to be stronger than you thought you could be. Don't let them fade quietly. So far, we've talked about eggs and salmon, two simple, accessible foods that can help you rebuild strength, support your balance, and feel more secure with every step. But we're not done just yet. There's one more food, a humble, often overlooked ingredient that holds incredible power when it comes to flexibility, circulation, and leg health. We've already covered two incredible foods, eggs and salmon, that have the power to bring strength back to your legs, rebuild lost muscle, and reduce the aches that quietly slow you down. But there's one more food I want to share with you today. It's not fancy. It doesn't sit in the gourmet section of the store. In fact, it's something our grandparents probably ate all the time. I'm talking about beans. Yes, good old-fashioned beans, black beans, pinto beans, lentils, navy beans. The kind that come in a can, in a bag, in a warm stew. They may not sound exciting, but when it comes to supporting leg strength and whole body wellness after 60, beans are like tiny superheroes on your plate. Let me tell you why. First of all, beans are packed with plant-based protein. Now, you already know from what we've discussed that protein is critical for maintaining muscle mass. But what makes beans unique is that they offer more than just protein. They're also rich in fiber, iron, magnesium, and potassium, a combination that helps your muscles contract properly, reduces leg cramps, supports bone density, and even helps prevent the kind of nerve damage that can throw off your balance. And balance, well, that becomes everything as we get older. I once visited a senior community center where they were hosting a cooking class for healthy aging. There was this wonderful woman there, Mavis, 81 years old. She had the kind of spark you don't forget. But she'd recently had a fall, nothing broken, thankfully, but it had shaken her confidence. She was nervous about walking, even in her own kitchen. When the class chef asked what her typical meals looked like, she said mostly toast, tea, and maybe a little yogurt here and there. No real meals, no substance. The chef taught the group how to make a simple lentil stew with carrots, onions, a touch of garlic, and a big scoop of olive oil. Mavis not only loved it, she started making it twice a week. A month later, she came back beaming. I can walk from my front door to the mailbox without feeling like I'll tip over, she told me. That stew is magic. It wasn't magic. It was nutrition. Pure, grounded, consistent nutrition. You see, what people often miss is that beans support your legs in several ways. The magnesium in them helps your muscles relax and contract. The iron supports healthy blood flow, so oxygen gets to your muscles when they need it. The potassium fights off those painful nighttime cramps that wake you from a sound sleep with your calves twisted tight. And the fiber? That helps regulate blood sugar and keep your energy stable throughout the day, so your legs don't feel drained after only a few steps. Beans are also incredibly versatile. You can have them in soups, toss them into salads, mash them into a spread, or simmer them into chili. You can eat them hot or cold, from a can or cooked fresh. And they're affordable, one of the best nutrition bargains around. So if you're on a budget, or if you don't feel like cooking elaborate meals anymore, beans are a gift. You can make one big batch, portion it out, and have ready-to-eat fuel for your legs all week long. Now I want to take a moment to talk about something many seniors don't always say out loud, but I know it's there. That creeping fear of losing independence, of becoming a burden, of not being able to do the things you used to do without someone watching over your shoulder. You might not even tell your children about how often your legs feel tired. You might downplay the wobbles, the muscle fatigue, the moments when you don't feel quite steady. But I want you to know this. There is power in awareness, and there is hope in action. You're not powerless. You're not stuck. What you eat matters. Every bite you take is either feeding strength into your body or taking it away. And when you start to eat for strength, not just fullness or flavor, but real, functional strength, you begin to notice the change. Not overnight, but steadily, quietly, like a light turning back on inside you. Let's imagine something together. It's a bright morning. You've just had a warm breakfast, maybe a spinach and egg scramble, maybe a cup of coffee, maybe even a small bowl of beans and rice you warmed up from last night. You stand up, and this time, your legs feel solid. You feel stable. You walk across the room with ease. Your joints don't creak. Your feet don't drag. You don't hesitate before each step, you just move. And it's not just your legs that feel better, it's your confidence. You go outside. You walk down the block. You wave to your neighbor, maybe pick a flower from your front yard. You feel like yourself again. Not just someone older, but someone alive. That's what we're after here. Not perfection, not eternal youth, but presence, strength, joy, movement. And it all starts with what you put on your plate. Eggs give you the foundation, pure, complete protein and essential nutrients to rebuild and restore. Salmon reduces the inflammation that holds you back and brings healing with every bite. And beans? Beans do it all. They feed your blood, your bones, your muscles, and your energy without breaking your budget or requiring a fancy kitchen. These foods aren't trends. They're timeless. They've been feeding people for generations, and they can feed you now, fueling your legs, lifting your spirit, and helping you stand tall every day. Now that we've walked through each of these powerful foods, eggs, salmon, and beans, I want you to pause for just a moment. Not to think about nutrition facts or calories, but to think about you, your legs, your life, the everyday moments that matter most. Because what this really comes down to isn't just food, it's freedom. Your legs aren't just muscles and joints. They're your foundation. They're your independence. They're the part of you that gets you out of bed in the morning and carries you to the front porch when the sun is shining. They're what let you hug your grandchild standing tall, what hold you steady while you stir the soup, what keep you walking through the store when you've got errands to run. But when they start to fade, when they begin to lose their strength, it's not just your balance that suffers. It's your confidence, your spontaneity, that quiet but powerful sense that you can still do things. I've spoken with so many seniors who share the same story, even if they say it in different ways. They'll mention how they've been sitting more than usual, or how walking to the mailbox now feels like a task instead of a habit. They'll mention shoes that stay by the door, untouched, church services missed, outings skipped. And when I ask what they've been eating, the answer is often the same. Something quick, something simple, something light. Crackers and cheese, toast and tea, a bit of soup here, a sandwich there. What's missing isn't effort, it's nourishment. It's the fuel your legs need to keep going, the protein that builds muscle, the vitamins that help your nerves fire correctly, the minerals that keep your joints lubricated and your bones from thinning out. And that's where these three foods come in. Because when you eat eggs in the morning, you're not just filling your stomach, you're giving your body a head start for the day. You're rebuilding tissue, supporting your nerves, and sending a message to your muscles. I haven't forgotten you. I'm still here. Let's move. When you add salmon to your weekly meals, you're doing something extraordinary for your joints, even if it doesn't feel dramatic right away. You're reducing that slow-burning inflammation that builds in silence. You're giving your legs the flexibility they need to bend, to pivot, to keep going without the grinding and stiffness that wears you down. And when you enjoy beans, whether in a hearty soup, a bean salad, or simply spooned onto your plate, you're feeding your body the minerals it quietly craves. You're helping your muscles relax, your blood flow improve, and your energy last longer. And that's what gives you the stamina to not just stand, but to stand strong. These aren't drastic changes, no overnight miracles, but they are reliable, nourishing, and empowering. And with consistency, they can absolutely change how your legs feel, how you feel. I want you to imagine a day not far from now. You've made these small changes. Maybe you're scrambling eggs in the morning. Maybe you've got a pot of lentils simmering for lunch. You've added a piece of grilled salmon to your grocery list. Maybe even invited a neighbor over for dinner. You stand up from your chair, and this time there's no pause, no wobble, no nervous glance toward the counter for support. Just strength, steadiness, confidence. And that confidence, it flows into everything else. You walk farther, you move more, you laugh a little louder. You plan the things you used to avoid, the park visit, the church outing, the dinner with friends. And maybe, for the first time in a while, you feel like your life is expanding again, not shrinking. That's the power of caring for your legs. That's the power of food, real, simple, healing food. And listen, I know change can feel overwhelming. Maybe you've been eating the same way for years. Maybe the thought of altering your meals feels too much. But you don't have to change everything all at once. Just one small shift, one choice, one meal at a time. Maybe tomorrow morning, instead of skipping breakfast, you make 2 scrambled eggs. Maybe this weekend, you try a new salmon recipe or pick up a can of beans to toss into your lunch. Maybe you sit down and plan 3 meals this week that include one of these foods and see how you feel. And if you're someone who lives alone or cooking feels like a chore these days, you're not forgotten. You can still do this. Look for pre-cooked hard-boiled eggs in the store. Grab canned salmon and canned beans. Keep things simple but meaningful. You deserve to be nourished, even if you're cooking for one. And if you're watching this thinking, it's too late for me, I want to say this as clearly as I can. It's not. Your legs have carried you through a lifetime of work, love, grief, growth, and joy. They're not asking to be young again. They're just asking to be supported, to be noticed, to be cared for. And you can do that, starting now. If this video has given you something to think about, If it sparked a little hope or reminded you that you still have power over your health, I'd love to hear from you. Share a thought in the comments. Let us know how your legs have been feeling or what food you're excited to try this week. Your story might just inspire someone else. And if you found this helpful, I'd be honored if you give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. We're building a space here where seniors can feel strong, informed, and supported one step at a time. So here's to your legs, to your strength, to every walk, every step, every quiet moment of independence that you're working to protect. And most of all, here's to you, because no matter your age, your life is still unfolding, and you deserve to walk through it with confidence, joy, and health.